Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tia, aka TeaCup Simmer, and this is another part of our very short niche series called the Clean Lines Challenge. And we are back with our 3,000 subscriber celebration Q&A and giveaway, you guys. This is the final video and the final time we are spending with our Clean Lines Challenge Nichelings, and I am so excited because you guys were so supportive. I got so many questions that I'm going to go through for you guys, but before I do that, I definitely want to celebrate our winners of the random giveaway for this challenge, you guys. So without further ado, the winners for the 3,000 subscriber celebration giveaway are Choose Wolf, Canis Latrans, and Diamond Lover. So thank you guys so much for being supporters of the channel and of me. I appreciate you guys so much. Please leave a comment below with how you guys would like to be contacted, and then we can talk about what you would want for your giveaway prizes and how you would like your trinkets sent to you, and we'll be able to have those discussions in private messages. But thanks everyone for participating. I'll try and do more giveaways. Like I said, my resin charms and keychains and stuff are things that I make for fun, so I can always decide to do just a random giveaway that includes some of those for you guys if you guys are interested in that. But I am super excited to get to this Q&A while we play the rest of our Clean Lines Challenge, because we're kind of in a pretty good spot. We have a lot of food, so we don't really have to worry about too much with our nichelings. We're still, but the next generation is definitely going to have to find some mates. But I'm slowly going to go through all of these questions you guys gave me over the last 3 videos, and I'll try and answer them as honestly as possible. Of course, some of these I may decide not to answer or be vague about them, just because if I decide that something's too personal or something along those lines. But most of them I don't particularly have a problem with, because I've looked through all of them so far and everyone had such great questions. But I think I'm going to start with the questions from our first video. Let me see. I'm going to check over our nichelings beforehand. Cora was left alone to spend all the rest of her time taking care of her son, and all of her other boys went off into the wilderness. Let's see if we can send Donovan down here to pick this up. I'm going to start moving them further in, because at the moment we have a few. I think we have a rogue over here that he just kind of shuffled into the grasses. There's a nice bear here. There's a ton of bunnies. I don't think we're going to be hurting for food anytime soon. I don't see the rogue anymore. Dang it, Mary. Let's have Von Care come over here. Can Riri take care of that? And let's have Miri take that. So let's look at some of these questions. I'll try and make sure that I try and remember to answer them, because you guys always give me so many interesting questions to answer. I'm going to see if I can make sure that I go through most of them. We may or may not get to all of them. I don't want this video to be too long, but we still want to make sure that everyone who participated kind of gets recognized a little bit. So let's start with the oldest questions. Let's see. First question was from Crazy Tiger Channel 2, and the question was, have you read Broken Code Lost Stars yet? And my answer is no. I read the Warrior Cats books when I was in like middle school, a couple years after I came to the United States, or came back to the US, I should say. And it wasn't, it was one of those series that it was just a part of a large retinue of things I'd been reading at the time. So, and then it kind of stopped abruptly after a certain point. So it never really occurred to me that there would be more series until like I was in college and people had started talking about it. Let's see. Christian Caters asks, what is your favorite cat in Dust Clan? Mine is Snowhawk. favorite Cat and Dusk clan. Ooh. I have to think. It may be Tansy Kit. I don't know. I skip the day because I don't think anybody is going to be moving anytime soon. What did we get? Ooh, it finally tells us what genes we've unlocked. Finally, we get normal fertility. That's perf. Okay, so we're gonna move Nicel here. Come on, Vonkir. You can do it. Oh, there we go. And then let's move Roro out of the nest. Put Maycel back. And start picking that food up. Okay. I'm trying to think of my favorite Cat and Dusk clan. I think it's, right now, it's Stormpaw. Because of how, like, really dedicated she is to the clan, but she doesn't really get recognized. She also has, like, her own hang-ups about being accepted, and especially when it comes to where she comes from. She doesn't really think the clan fully accepts her, and she feels like she can never be good enough, and I kind of understand that idea. And I want her to, like, find a place where she'll be happy and where she'll belong. I don't know. She's kind of like my spirit animal at this point, just because she's super broody, but like she has like almost like a soft spot for Maplewood. So I think their relationship is gonna be super cute. Let's see. Next question from Lavender Heart, the cat. Who is your absolute favorite nicheling so far in any series? Oh gosh. Oh, that's so hard. I'd have to say it would be one of my first nicheling series. And it would have to be part of our mountain tribe, and it would have to be, I don't know if her name was, I think her name was Raina. I don't know if it was Zephyra, but she was the first female with ram horns in our mountain tribe, and she was a beast. Like, not a beast in the sense that she was like super powerful or whatever, but she had such sass to her, and she like ruled the mountain tribe and passed down those beautiful ram horns and stripes to her children, and she was perfect, and I absolutely adore her. She kind of inspired the original alpha queen of our Wolfpack challenge, actually, because she was such an amazing nicheling. Let's see. Choose Wolf asked, how does it feel to have made YouTube videos for 3 years, and what's your hopes and plans for the future? Let's see. What does it feel like? I don't really know. I do admit that I take a good number of hiatuses a lot of the time, so it's not, who got nipped? Oh, Cora. Okay, we're gonna bring you back here so your son can take care of you, and we'll pick up that crabbit. It feels a little strange because I never expected to have like a ton of subscribers. Like, very rarely do people expect to have like a ton of subscribers. Most of the time people just want to kind of make the stories that they want to make. I was super lucky in that like some of the first major series I did were super popular, so everyone kind of liked them. But when it came to like whether or not I thought I'd have like this many subscribers, it's not a thing I really thought about. It was just, can I make really good quality videos and tell stories that I know I would enjoy if I was sitting around trying to find something to watch. And I think that's what my goal was to always find and create stories that I think I would have enjoyed when I had the time to sit and listen to a Let's Play from like the beginning. And I think that's a really great feeling, to find like a story that you can enjoy from the beginning and watch it till the end and find it really satisfying. What are my goals for the future? I kind of want us to, I'm not gonna say like expand, but I kind of want to have like better computer. At the moment, I'm saving for a much better computer. I'm working off of a laptop at the moment. Let's move is Taco. Her name sounds like taco. Milen, I'm gonna have to send over here. Trying to see if there's any. Are there any roots? But I'm trying to save for a new gaming computer because currently I'm working off of a laptop I've had since my junior year of college, which was about 4 years ago. So it's a pretty good, well-run laptop at this point. It's not running poorly, but for the things that I want to do, like being able to run Sims 3 more smoothly, or run Sims 4 smoothly, or be able to run Niche on higher graphics settings, or to be able to run some of the newer games that are coming out, like Wolf Quest 3 is coming out soon. We don't know when, but it's coming out soon, and it has those amazing, almost photorealistic graphics, and I want to be able to play the game with those graphics and it look amazing when we start making stories in that game. So currently my goal is to just kind of up the quality of my videos, because if I'm able to have a better computer and be able to put out better looking videos that I can render quicker, and I don't have to worry about how long it's going to take me to upload it and things of that nature, then I think it's going to be really beneficial for the channel. Because I don't think we have a problem of like what content we choose. I think it's mostly about me being consistent, which I totally get, and I want to remedy that, but I can only be as consistent as my hardware allows. So if my computer says I hate Sims 3, Tia, and I'm not going to let you play in Sims 3, then I can't really do anything about it until my game either decides to work, or I'm able to update all of my drivers properly so that my game will run sufficiently to be able to kind of support all the things that we're trying to do. Let's see. Roro, we never decided on your colors. These ladies are orange, these guys are blue. We'll make you guys yellow just because we can. Luprinu, Maisel, these guys are actually getting a lot older, but I kind of think, so Miri's getting older. Let's move Melon back in here, and of course, did Cora get another leech? No, she didn't. And we'll have Kier help out. He's very good at helping his mother pick up food. This is kind of keeping us fed. But I guess that's what, I hope that was an answer to your question. Let's see. Belle Malfoy asked, what made you want to do YouTube? I actually decided to do YouTube because I loved playing Sims 4 originally. Like, I hadn't played it in a really long time, and I started seeing stories and like machinimas, and I've always thought about stories in the context of music and images and ideas, and so I wanted to try and create something like that, but I didn't particularly know how, and school was almost over. I think I was a senior in college, and I didn't have as many obligations because I ran about 3 different organizations, or at least I was on like leadership boards for 3 different organizations on campus, and I was usually super busy throughout most of my college career, and so the end of senior year I wasn't super busy, and I wanted to do this thing, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I have the time, I have the money to afford the microphone. Originally I used my phone actually for like some of my first ones. So one of my first recordings, I used my iPhone to record like the music, not the music, but my voiceover for my Sims 3 Warrior Cast challenge, I'm pretty sure, which is partially why that video is like cringe worthy with how bad the quality is. Like, I still cringe when I look at it. Okay, Milan, what are you gonna give us? But yeah, I originally just wanted to create, ooh, New individual, H&H immunity. Roro, pick him up. Mireille. There we go. Let's give you your color. You have a digging paw, but we don't really know what to send you. Send you over here. But yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to start YouTube. Like, I had the time, I didn't have as many obligations, and I really wanted to create stories, so I decided to, and then it kind of expanded from there, since I seem to like a lot of different kinds of games, and I met a lot of people who also like things. And we have another bat head. That's so cute. Oh, and Persnout in here too. That's adorable. Okay, so we're gonna have Maisel move over here. Can we try and have a baby? Okay. And then we'll have Roro pick that up. So this guy, what are your genes? Your H&H immunity, bad eyesight, cracker jaw, bad hind legs, has ram horns in there, which is pretty nice. But technically he's not related to anyone, so we can use him as a baseline. I think, who's the best lady? Tommy is actually pretty cute. ENC, DNC. Mireille's actually has some of the better fertility. She does actually. So Mireille might be the one. Okay, so we'll probably pair those two together. And then the rest of these guys are going to just be food collectors. Okay, so the next question would be Snowy DeFox asks, favorite cat from Sims 3 Warriors, Dusk Clan and Bright Clan, and then one overall. Okay. Well, I already said my favorite cat from Dusk Clan was Stormpaw at the moment. From Bright Clan, I have to say, I can't say any of the kits because you guys don't know them yet. But I absolutely adore the kits, just so that we're clear. I think it would have to be I kind of love Sunsplash from Bright Clan because of how like optimistic he is, and he doesn't really let things get to him, and he tries to enjoy things as they come. So even though, especially with him having like originally Briarlight, not Briarlight, excuse me, I'm having a slip of the tongue, goodness, Earthstorm, and I can't say that. Oh, I'm trying to figure out what to say without giving spoilers away. But even though some of his friends are kind of like paranoid or really broody, he tends to be a very bright and outgoing kind of a cat, and I like that about him. And then overall, my favorite cat would have to be Heather Star, because of how like regal she is, even though she's gone through a lot, and you guys haven't seen as much as how much she's had to go through, but she's gone through a lot just to make sure that her clan survives, and I appreciate her a ton for that. And she just looks amazing. Like I have a thing. And that's also another question someone asked, what my favorite breeds of cat are, and one of my favorite cats is the Maine Coon. Like that's the kind of cat I want. So I have such a thing for Maine Coons, and so she's a Maine Coon, and I love her to pieces. And let's see. And then the YouTuber from Denmark asks, who's your favorite cat / nicheling from your Niche Warrior Cats challenge? Oof, that's hard too. I guess the same reason I'd have to say I'd have to say Oak Claw because of how stoic he was when we first got there. He was just so ready for everything. He was very on point all the time. And after he met his mate and they had a bunch of kids, he still sat there and protected them through everything. He was goals. Like, he was amazing, and I absolutely adore him. I'm trying to think if there are any other Nichelings I loved, but yeah, Oak Claw was like my favorite. Diamond Lover asks, how do you find time to record between your personal life and your job? The answer to that is, it is 11:50 right now, p.m. Eastern time, and I'm recording. So the answer is, I do not. The answer is that it is very hard to find time. To be fair, I don't have like a ton of things going on. Like, I have a ton of like small projects that I work on when it comes to YouTube, and like personally, like I'm working on a novel, and like I work on crafts, and I'm volunteer at Humane Society sometimes, or at least I'm trying to. It's hard to get on the schedule sometimes. So it's like I have things that I try and do, but I wouldn't consider them like a super robust personal life. I like keeping myself busy. At the same time, my job is actually pretty taxing when it comes to like commute and all that other stuff. So it can be a problem when it comes to trying to like get home on time so that I have time to take care of myself and do like some self-care and rest in between like working and recording. That can be a little difficult, but I think that that's like a problem most individuals have when it comes to being an adult, unfortunately. And adulting is hard. Let's have them pick up all that food. So we're gonna have Mireille. Let's have Mireille come here. So Prero, let me see if I can mess with his genetics for a hot second. And he has, let's add in his paws. I don't need to worry about. I don't want that webbed hind legs. Does she have that? She does, so that's something we need to nip in the bud super quickly. Come on, click it. Next question from Emily Plays. Did anybody inspire you to do YouTube? If so, please tell me. And random question, mustard or ketchup? Neither. I like barbecue sauce. I'll eat ketchup and I'll eat mustard, but like if you're asking me like what I'll put on a burger or something, it's barbecue sauce. And who inspired me to do YouTube? A couple people. Mostly it's because it wasn't necessarily inspired me because I thought, oh, I want to be like them. It was that their stories gave me ideas. So I think one was, I think it was Life Simmer. No, it wasn't Life Simmer. I think it was Kawaii Simmer. I think it was Kawaii Simmer. And then Siri Pixel Biologist. I liked watching her stuff. Let me see if I can move Riri for a second. Did I get his? No, I didn't. I missed him. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that I really liked watching. Like, I had a lot of YouTubers that I liked to watch, but it had nothing to do with me wanting to create stories. Like, me wanting to create stories was simply just something that I liked to do. And when I started looking at different, like, games and things, and I realized that, oh, people are making stories in these kinds of games, and so it's possible for me to do this. So I just thought that was cool. So yeah, I think it was Kawaii Simmer, or Kawaii, but and Siri Pixel Biologist, and I think there's maybe a couple others, but I don't have them off the top of my head. Let's see. Solar Draws asked, what you like to do in your spare time? I like to read. I have audiobooks on tape because I tend to have to drive 2 hours for work. Let's see if this works. Ooh, yay. So we'll put Mirai in here. I want to give him, let's give him like a pink color. It'll be easier. I have to drive about 2 hours a day. Well, no, 2 hours to get to work pretty much every day. So I don't normally have time to read unless I have a lot of downtime. Like if I have multiple days off, then I'll maybe like be able to read maybe 2 or 3 books. I tend to read fairly quickly, so that can happen. Let's skip the day and see what Mirai is going to give us. Oh, new baby! Someone died. No! Oh, Millet died and left us the girl with horrible fertility. Ugh, you guys. Well, at least we know this line isn't going to like die out. Yeah, she's going to be fine. Roro, I guess you're gonna have to take over since all of your siblings are too young. Let's have them break down this nest. The bunny's right over there. Yeah, what do I like to do in my spare time? I like to read. I like to sing. If you guys remember not a long time ago, but I did a Wait For It machinima for Hamilton, and I sung in that. And then I think my first ever live stream, I did it with Kim Sarcastic Links on YouTube, and we did like karaoke for like Hamilton and Wicked, and it was so fun. Like I love singing. It's great. I'm not necessarily like the best singer. Don't get it twisted, but I love doing it because it makes me feel good. Let's see. Technically, she's still going to have the orange gems because Tame was born to this line. As soon as I'm not a weirdo and remember to click the right button. Let's have these guys keep clearing this out. The boys don't have any mates because technically, let's check this out. So Cora was related to Tail and Van Dan, and these guys I believe were the only ones that weren't related to anyone else. Van Dan, however, or Van Dan, is related, I believe. I'm trying to remember who else he's related to. I think his mother is not on here anymore, which I don't understand. Well, yeah, he died, so yeah, his mother wouldn't be on here anymore. But his parents were related to these guys' parents. So I'm just trying to remember who was whom. I think he was related to Maisel. Yeah, he was related to Maisel, whose children... Yeah, Van Dan and Maisel were related, so they couldn't have any children that would be able to breed with each other. So we're basically waiting for rogues to come by for these guys. So like either a rogue female or something along those lines so that we can avoid any intermixing. These 4 are going to have to go off in a separate direction to see if they can find someone else as well, since Prero and Mirai are the ones that are going to be basically keeping this line, the like orange line, alive. What else do I like to do in my spare time? I like to create my resin pieces. They're fun. I don't do it as often as I'd like, mostly because previously it was really cold, so trying to do resin pieces in the cold is actually pretty difficult, and I have to work in a basement to do my resin pieces, so it's not really temperature controlled, so whatever temperature it is outside, it kind of modulates around that. So I can't, like if it's 50 degrees outside, I'm pretty much wearing like mittens while I'm making resin pieces. So, and resin hardens slower when it's like when the room temperature is colder, so it's definitely harder for me to do that when it's cold. Let's see. Super Puppy Lover asks, what is your favorite niche biome and why? Oh gosh, I think my favorite would have to be grassland. No, it's not grasslands, it's grass mingle. So it's kind of like this. Um, but like a little bit more mixed together. Grass mingle I like because you're able to get multiple different types of trees, multiple different types of biomes. I mean, they may not be asking about the island I like, but grass mingle is the type of island I like because you can kind of specialize depending on the area that you're in, and it feels a little bit more diverse. Whereas the specific type of biome I like, that's difficult. I kind of like the mountain biome just because it's really interesting. Like it's like you're working vertically rather than in like a flat horizontal way, which is nice. I think if you're talking about biome specifically rather than island, then I'd have to say like the mountain biome I like the best. I do like water biome in the sense that I like having water nichelings. It's always fun. Let's have here pick this stuff up. Next question, another question from Lavender Heart is, do you have any pet peeves when it comes to anything YouTube, real life, video games, movies, or anything like that? When it comes to pet peeves, I don't really have any pet peeves in the sense of like, I have more pet peeves when it comes to personal relationships than actual like YouTube stuff. Let me think. Tommy or Tomei, I'm gonna send you off here so we can start extending this area. Yeah, I have more issues with people being unreliable or people being dishonest or being vague with their wording. Like, I am very communication oriented because I have a very hard time understanding people most of the time. It's just a thing that I have trouble with. So people who know me know they have to be very direct, or at the very least have a conversation with me to tell me that they're not going to be direct, that that's not how they communicate, and that they'll keep in mind that that it's harder for me to understand things, and that they're open to communication. But I don't do well when people aren't open with me about things, or if they don't communicate. So it's very hard for me to understand what's going on, and I don't like being confused. That's a very big pet peeve for me. I don't like being confused because I prefer to understand what's going on. In life, you don't necessarily always understand what's happening, and that's definitely something that I've been working on to be okay with. But at the same time, like, if I can avoid it, or if people can be honest and straightforward about their feelings or about what they want, it can make things a lot easier than what people normally expect from relationships or from friendships or anything like that. Let's see. I'm trying to think if I have any other pet peeves. I don't particularly like willful ignorance. Like, that annoys me. Like people who decide that they don't want information, or that they're going to ignore information that's given to them, because that means that they're deciding to be ignorant on something, which means that they're deciding to not have as much information as possible for them to make their decisions. And when you don't have as much information as you need to make your decisions, there's a high likelihood that you will make incorrect decisions and potentially harm other people, and that's something that I don't like. Like, that's not something that's okay with me at all. Let's see. Let's go to another question. Rick Star asks, what inspired you to do stories with Niche and Sims? Niche specifically because I love the way it looked. Like, it's such a cute game. And I didn't realize how customizable and versatile working in this medium would be. No! Who are you? F and D. Oh no. Oh, Melon's gonna have a sickly baby. Oh no. And then let's have, who are you? Kuvanta. D and H. Pretty good. I don't have any problems with him. pre-row. This guy's coming around trying to hurt all of our females, and I'm not appreciating it at all. Pre-row, can you help us out? Let's have Tommy. So let's hurt him a bit. I don't want her to move towards him because he might take that to his advantage. But yeah, for niche, I love it because it's super customizable. Like I'm surprised at how easy it is to play around with genetics and make a bunch of different types of stories rather than it just being a general, come on, dude. He's just trying to mess us up. We're gonna have a bunch of sickly children. We're not going to lose the challenge, mind you, but we're gonna have a bunch of sickly children. And then I think for Sims, I like Sims for a similar reason, but similar and different reason, because of how easy it is to create stories. Like I guess it's a roundabout question, because the question from Rick Starr was what inspired me to create stories. Like, I've always been inspired to create stories, but I liked niche and Sims specifically because of how easy it is to create these kinds of stories and create compelling stories that people can enjoy. I hope that answers the question. Is Macy, we're gonna have to change your color as soon as I find the right color. Next question from Star 12345 is, do you have a black cat? And I do not. Actually, I want a cat so bad you don't even know. I don't actually have the ability to have a cat at the moment. So, and I'm very much a person who likes to, like, if I'm going to get a cat or if I'm going to get a pet, it's going to be like a forever home kind of pet. I don't want to have to change anything so that the animal doesn't necessarily have to deal with lots of changing circumstances within like the first like 5 years or so. So I really want a cat so bad, you guys. Athena, our logo cat, is actually almost like my own personal like wish fulfillment, to be like, we're eventually going to have a black cat named Athena. Like, one of these days I'm going to pop up on screen with like face cam with a little black kitten, and her name's going to be Athena, and you guys are going to be just as excited as I am just to see her. I heard something bad. I don't think we did anything to the peaceful bear. He should be fine. But I heard something bad. Or is it just the peaceful bear being annoying? Can we give him... We're going to give him some nesting material, see if he helps us out. We'll put Istako up here. Kuvanta. It looks like Prero passed away. At least we have a continuation of that line. And maybe this line of Nichelings would be able to mate with these guys. I'm not positive. This is something we'd have to play around with, because this is not a hard science when it comes to this challenge. Let's see. Deepest of Wounds asked, how old would I be turning on Thursday? And of course, I am turning 25. Dasha Draws asked what my favorite character from Warriors is. I don't really have... I'm trying to think if there's anyone I actually really like. Because I don't really have too many characters in like Warriors, like the series, that I'm absolutely in love with. Some of them I find interesting, but I don't have like a full-on like affinity for them. I'm trying to think if there's a cat like that. Only thing I can think of, I liked Leafpool. No, I like Mothwing. I really liked Mothwing when she first debuted. Granted, I haven't read past Power of 3 for like personal reasons, like I just don't have the time. So, which is why I'm trying to reread them, and I'm using like my audiobooks to reread them, but since it only goes so fast, like I have, trying to think, I have like the first 3 on audiobook at the moment. I've already read through the first 2, and to be fair, I've read through the first 2 series, like the first 2 arcs, like twice already before, but I'm trying to do it again now because it just makes it fresh in my mind. But yeah, I think Mothwing was the only one that was one of the ones that I actually really liked when I first read through a lot of the series, just because like I love how straightforward she is on occasion, and I appreciate that. The black screen asks how many packs do I have. I guess for Sims 4, all of them. For a while I didn't have Strangerville, because I didn't want to, on protest reasons, because Strangerville was not the kind of pack that I wanted. But the problem was that they had the military career and the paranoid trait, which are like in-game content that I really wanted, because the military career would help with my Amazon challenge rules, and the paranoid trait is just another trait that I want Sims to have more personality, and to be able to have another trait in a random pack that barely anyone would use, or like only niche people would use, I feel like, because it's not that kind of, I don't particularly find it that compelling. So I know a lot of people like it, and that's up to them, but I don't particularly have a fondness. Oh my goodness, he looks so pretty. Kutapri, look at you. Oh, you're so cute. We have a lot of new small ones, but Kutapri and Kuvanta, look at you. He just looks so pretty. You look just like your daddy. Well, not just like, but that's like a really great mix. I love that. He is pretty. I love that. Mirai, get out of the way so I can put colors on your children. Tinsel asks, what was your goal when starting a channel? And if you could have any pet, what would it be? Like, if I could have any pet, I'd have a cat and 3 dogs. And what was my goal when starting a channel? Just make quality stories. Canis Latrons asks, which trait or traits in niche do you think would best represent you as a person, and why? What best represents me as a person? I'm gonna go with how I am now instead of how I want to be. I'd say runner's leg, because I don't particularly like conflict. It's not something I enjoy, so I would prefer not to get involved in conflicts with people if I can avoid it, which is why I prefer very straightforward conversation and communication, because if we're very clear with our words, then there's no reason to have misunderstandings, and there's no reason for conflict. So did you see what I did there? Let me think. I'd say, I'd say derp snout, because I'm super self-conscious about my appearance and about how I come across to others. Even if like I'm the nicest person, or even if some people think I'm the nicest person, I'm always worried about it. I'm always worried about whether or not I'm being if I'm being honest, or if I'm being honest enough, or if I'm treating people fairly. Like, I want to make sure that I'm treating everyone fairly, and that no one feels like they aren't valued. And it's not necessarily something I can control. I could be like the nicest person ever to someone, and they could still decide that they don't like me. That's understandable, I suppose. But I guess I try and like mitigate that as much as possible. And then I think big body, maybe. because I have a lot of defense and selective, like I have a lot of selective defenses. So for big body, it protects from cold and certain levels of defense, but it doesn't protect you from heat, and it actually stops you, inhibits your flying ability. So for me, like I am, like again, like how I feel about certain things makes it easier for me to not be impacted by certain ideas or by people's opinion in certain areas. But in other areas, I'm like completely vulnerable to that, and so it's very difficult to like balance out like your personal weaknesses, I think. And then let's see, Moon Swana says, what's your favorite series so far? Ooh, I really like, I'm trying to think, because we've done so many series on the channel before. I'd really have to go back and say I really liked my Drifter Challenge series. And I know that's weird because it's probably not one of my more popular ones for Sims 4, but to me, it was so simple, and I loved the characters and like the children that they had and the family that they built and how everything's set up. Like I appreciated how like easy it was to create that story, and it was, I guess for me it was like story in its purest form in some instances. I was still getting used to recording in Sims 4 and all that fun stuff, but I feel like creating that story with Mickey and her wife and their kids was like a great way for me to like explore storytelling, and it was one of my favorite ways of doing so, I think. Let's see. I think we're gonna have like maybe one or two more questions, and then we're gonna close it out for this episode and for this very difficult challenge. Thankfully, we haven't like died. We have a good number of Nichelings. One of our lines is doing perfectly well. The other two are actually kind of stumbling a bit, but hopefully they'll be fine. We haven't seen any other new rogues or Nichelings that we could invite into the tribe, but that's kind of par for the course considering we have about 18 Nichelings. We could banish some people, but I feel like that would lead to some of its own problems. But like we have a bunch of like new tiny ones that we can't banish yet. Let's see. I'm gonna check some of our other questions to see what I think would be the best. Emily Plays asked, how many niche challenges did I complete? I think I've completed on camera. I don't think I've completed any. Some of the ones on camera that I've done outside of this one, I don't even know how you'd complete this. Like for some reason, like I feel like some of the niche challenges that we do don't really have an end. So like it's just stay alive as long as possible. Like there isn't really an end goal. Let's see. Lavender Heart asked, when was your first video game and what was it? I don't even remember that. The first video game that I remember really liking though, like no, there's two. First video game that I really liked was like this Inuyasha, I think it was a PC game, or it was like a handheld game. And I really loved that one because it was just like you had to switch off. It was like a turn-based game, and I really liked that. That was, I was totally into Inuyasha. And then the only other one that I liked was Kingdom Hearts, but I didn't have a console to play it on at the time, so I would always play with my friend, with my friend at her house, and her mother would feed us boiled peanuts while we played. It was fun. And of course, Kim asked me if you could have any breed of cat, what would it be? And I already said I love Maine Coons. They are my favorite cats. And she asked also, who are your least favorite characters for niche in my Sims Warrior Cat series? Ooh, least favorite. Ugh. Least favorite in niche. I'm assuming she's talking about my Niche Warrior Cat series. So for the least favorite in that series, I don't really have a least favorite. See, it's kind of her least favorite. I'd have to say is Fire Song, because I would want so much more for her, because she's been well, no, it's not Fire Song. See, because I can't choose. It's so hard. Oh, I don't like it. Okay, I think I know. So I think it's Golden Oak, and that's not necessarily because I don't like her. Let me explain. I love Golden Oak, but I think she doesn't value being a mother enough. She's just kind of waiting for her turn to be a warrior, and I feel like that leaves her like devaluing her kits a bit, and so she's not really paying attention to them or loving them the same way like Fire Song would, or even Acorn Branch. Even though some of her kits she didn't initially like think that she wanted to have kits, she still like loves Oak Leaf, and she still loves River Kit. So I don't know, it's Golden Oak I think would have to be my least favorite when it comes to character wise. For Sims 3 Warrior Cats, I don't oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot her name. Sparrowlight. Like, I love her story, but I don't like her as a character because I think she's very cowardly. I think she's making bad choices based off of paranoia rather than information, and I find that like I said, I find that annoying. But I understand her story because she's never liked being in uncertain. She's never liked uncertainty, and living in Bright Clan gave her way too much uncertainty, she thought. So because she thought that there was too much uncertainty, she wasn't happy. But it's going to be fun to kind of expand her story as we go on. Diamond Lover asked if I have a significant other, and my answer to that is no. I am currently single. Karen Stern asked, let's see what my favorite book series is. My favorite book series would have to be Elena the Lioness series and Wild Mage series, both by Tamora Pierce, for young adult fantasy. And then for more adult fantasy, I have to say anything by N.K. Jemisin, because she's life. Or anything by Octavia Butler. Oh my gosh, I love their books. Let's see, I'm going to try and go through these. Blue Raven asks, what is something I like to do in my spare time? Oh, I already said I like to make resin. I like to make resin charms most of the time. If I don't have like a full schedule of recording, then I'm usually making resin charms. And I don't sell them. I usually just make them and then give them away to people. Like, I make magnets and necklaces and earrings. Yeah, stuff like that. And then Veroshi asks, how long does it take you to think of and then make your resin pieces? Most of the time, if I'm making a resin piece, it's immediate. So like, I'll decide when I decide to sit down for a session that I'm going to be making resin pieces, that I'll decide at the time what colors I want to use and what female Lentala A and K. That's not gonna work. That is not gonna work for any of us. Oh no. Oh, she would be good for some of our boys over here though. Lurk, can you help us out a bit? Let's do... Thank you, Donovan. We're gonna send her over here to hang out with Roro. Roro, look, I found you a new mate. But yeah, I usually create resin pieces based off of an idea that I have. Sometimes I buy stickers specifically to put in resin pieces, and so I have an entire binder full of stickers. And if I want, so normally I'll look through the stickers and be like, okay, I want to use this, and I want to use this sticker, what kind of colors would that mean? And then once I figure out the colors, then I could pick either more stickers or pick certain molds that would work best with those colors, so that if I decide to make like an entire batch of resin, I don't waste it. So I just use the entire batch of color in that way. These are going to be the last few questions, I think, because this has been going for a pretty long time. I'm pretty sure this is probably going to be a really long video, to be honest. Last questions. Let's see. what's my idea of a perfect nicheling? I actually don't think that's a thing. This is from Shizuka Aburame. I don't think a perfect nicheling exists. It's all specifically based off of environment. That's one of the entire points of the game. Seriously, dude, you are a problem. This is going to be a problem. But yeah, I don't think such a thing as a perfect nicheling exists. It's specifically based off of environment. Nichelings that do well in this environment, for example, might possibly do poorly in a completely different environment. So if Roro was in a different environment, he might need a claw, which would slow him down, which would mean that in a different environment he may be too slow to avoid apes, or too slow to avoid larger predators, or there's too many factors to say that a perfect nicheling exists in any given scenario. I think it's specific to where they're located. Last questions from Lavender Heart. Let's see. Oh, nope, I guess there isn't another question. Nope, never mind, I found one. If I could pick any game to live in, which would it be? Oh, I would not want to live in a game. I would not want to live in a game. I already have problems with communication and control. I can't. If I lived in a game, that I would just midlife crisis. That's what that would be. The last question from Emily Plays is what my favorite animal is. I've always had a thing for panthers and wolves. I like those two. I like those animals. And then Deepest of Wounds asks about my sexuality specifically. Yeah, they asked, are you going to release my sexuality to the public? I don't particularly think it's a secret. I'm pansexual and polyamorous, so I don't particularly think it's a secret. I don't talk about it because it's not relevant. But yeah. Yay. And let's see. Okami Haru asks, what tips and tricks would I give to someone who's new to playing niche? Okay, since this is a really great thing to go out on, since we're pretty much done with the episode and this has been going on for a very, very, very long time, best tips and tricks I would give to people who are new to playing niche. The idea would be to utilize all of your senses. Check and be aware of what you do and don't have. So check your nesting material, check your food, check the number of animals you have pretty much every turn, and use your perception to find things, like finding new food sources, understanding what your environment is, those things, and being able to hear, that's probably what I heard earlier, is a Barina. Using your senses mean things are less surprising, so that you can prepare for them and that you have an understanding of what's around you, so that when you decide to go into an area, you're not completely blind. Also, get acquainted with what helps and what doesn't when it comes to dealing with nichelings. Don't particularly let anyone tell you that one thing is inherently better than something else. For lots of people, playing without blind nichelings is beneficial because you want to be able to see. You want to have all these tiles lit up so that you can move fairly quickly. But blind eyes gives 2 to smelling and 1 to hearing. So if we had a blind nicheling, they would have much better smelling and much better hearing than non-blind nichelings. So trying to understand how the mechanics of the game work and trying to play to those strengths. Don't necessarily think that because one individual like myself likes to play landlocked, for example, or doesn't like webbed hind legs, means that you can't ever play with them, or that you shouldn't play with them, or that they're inherently bad. It all depends on what your goal is for whatever you're doing. And I think that's is where we're gonna end this part right here, you guys. Thanks everyone for joining me for this 3000k celebration. This video is probably gonna go up sometime on Friday because it's late and I'm very, very tired. And I'll probably put up some Sims 4 content as well, so you guys can look forward to that. I'll always be putting up more polls in the community tabs if you guys are interested in different games, or if you guys want me to know about games that you're interested in. Please put them down in the comments, or please let me know on our community tab so that I can keep track and I can look into those things and make the channel great for everyone. Thank you again to everyone for helping me get to 3,000 subscribers. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and please subscribe if you really love me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.